The Sacramento Kings, for the third time this season, proved to be the kryptonite to the Dallas Mavericks. This is the Gray Area right here on Kevin Gray Sports. My name is Kevin Gray. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Kevin Gray Sports. Be sure to hit that subscribe button for all things Kevin Gray Sports here on YouTube, and catch me on your home of the Dallas Cowboys and Texas Rangers, 105.3 The Fan. The Dallas Mavericks fall to 36-28 on the season after a 111-99 loss to the Sacramento Kings. Luka Doncic scored 30 points and had 6 assists, but he also had 6 turnovers in this game. Jalen Brunson, the second leading scorer for the Mavericks, had 17 of his own. Buddy Hield was absolutely spectacular. The Dallas native went 6 of 10 from the three-point line with 27 points of his own. Marvin Bagley, the third, he went 10 of 16, had 23 points. Richaun Holmes, a potential free agent target for the Dallas Mavericks this upcoming summer, had 17, and a showcase for him. Even your man DeLon Wright, former Dallas Maverick, was cooking in the fourth quarter, so much so to the point it got Rick Carlisle tossed, which takes us to what happened in this game with respect to the referees. Your man Rodney Mott was on one against the Dallas Mavericks. He tossed Luka and Rick Carlisle in this game. A critical juncture with 10:23 left in the second quarter. Luka Doncic gets an offensive foul, gets a technical foul for shouting an obscenity to Rodney Mott, then gets a lane violation. Carlisle gets teed up. Then Luka gets a traveling violation, and then a turnover on the next 2 possessions. And that is where things appeared to unravel for the Dallas Mavericks. Luka picked up his 14th and 15th technical fouls in this game, both of which may be rescinded. But here's Luka Doncic explaining how he got not 1, but 2 technicals and ultimately got tossed. Here is Luka Doncic explaining what happened.
Yeah, Luka, do you have any idea why you received the second technical foul? Because it did not appear that you even said anything to the referees.
No, but I guess because I was, when it was timeout, I threw the ball, to the basket. I guess it was because of that. But if you get attacked for that, that's, I don't know. But other than that, I don't know.
Tim McMahon.
Look, obviously, I'm sure the team's going to check on getting that second one rescinded, but as of now, you're 1 tech away from an automatic 1-game suspension. How much of a concern is that for you?
No, I won't get another one. Don't worry. And the first one should get rescinded too, so I'll just leave it there.
Did they tell you?
Oh, sorry, Tim.
Sorry. You said the first one you think should be rescinded. Why did they tell you got that one?
I just, it was a fancy call. I was like, hell no. And he told me, I cannot tell him hell no, but maybe I can tell it to others, but to him, no. That's why I got to thank.
So Luka Doncic is providing the explanation about both technical fouls, both of which I would not be surprised, especially the second one, to get rescinded. Now, he got the second one because apparently he tossed the ball away from the nearest referee, and Rodney Mott didn't like it, called it unsportsmanlike when you looked at the pool report as far as the technical fouls that were assessed. For Rick Carlisle, he apologized after the game, saying, look, he set a poor example with respect to how he handled himself with the technical fouls. And honestly, I'm surprised he didn't get run earlier. This is a Mavericks team that shot 17% from the three-point line. Yes, found themselves at times getting back into the game, but did not have enough juice, especially when it came to the first and third quarters where they were outscored by a combined 18 points from the Sacramento Kings. So now the Mavericks at 36-28 somehow still are 5th place in the Western Conference. That is by virtue of the fact that the Los Angeles Lakers lost to the Toronto Raptors. Now there's a 3-way tie for the 5th seed. The Mavericks hold the 5th seed because they're winning the Southwest Division. They own the season series tiebreaker over the Lakers, and the Portland Trail Blazers right now are in 7th, despite the fact that they own the season series tiebreaker over the Dallas Mavericks. I know, it's confusing. But nonetheless, after losing to the Kings, the Dallas Mavericks for now hold on to the 5th seed as they get ready to travel to take on the Miami Heat. I mentioned Rick Carlisle and him apologizing after the game with respect to the 2 technical fouls that he got. Here's an interesting note from Rick Carlisle about the 4 technicals that he's gotten this season combined and the 2 that he got against the Kings. Take a listen to Rick Carlisle here.
Rick, I will not chip in for any fines, but I want to give you a chance to address your issues with the officiating. And also, this is now 15 tees for Luka this year. You're concerned about him being one away from a 1-game suspension.
Yeah, and, it's something we've been making him aware of. Look, I set a poor example tonight by getting 2 myself. So that's on me. And, I apologize to the team after the game for it too. It's not the right example. I've got 4 technicals this year. They're all from the same guy. So, I'm not sure exactly what that says. But there's a saying, reasonable men have a right to disagree. And so I'll stick with that. But I thought the right layup in front of our bench where he looked like he shuffled and took extra 1 or 2 steps was clearly a travel. There was no call, and that kind of was the last straw for me. But we got to move on, it's 8 games left, I think. And or 10 or 9 games left, whatever it is. How many games left is it?
8.
Yeah, 8 left. They're all very meaningful. Hopefully we'll get Tim back on Tuesday. We'll see where KP is, and we'll head to Miami and look to play better.
So Rick Carlisle saying, look, the 4 technicals that I've gotten this season have been from the same referee. That's Rodney Mott. So I don't know what it is about Mott and Carlisle, Mott and Luka Doncic, but it seems like there was not the best relationship taking place between those 3 men in this game. And look, the Mavericks were outplayed, they were out-hustled, and ultimately outplayed again by a Sacramento Kings team that swept them 3-0 this season because they really had nothing to play for. So the Blazers, who are currently 4-0 on their road trip, have the 9th toughest schedule left in the NBA. Meanwhile, the Dallas Mavericks have the 4th easiest schedule left in the NBA. But that's concerning, though, because this is a team now that falls to 14-12 against sub-500 teams. And they have 5 such games left, 2 against the Cleveland Cavaliers, 1 against the Pelicans, the Raptors, and also the Timberwolves to end the season. So while you think the Dallas Mavericks should be able to handle this schedule and ultimately finish 5th in the Western Conference, they've clearly continued a poor trend of playing down to competition. And with 5 games left against sub-500 teams, this is a team now who is also 13-25 when trailing after the first quarter. Here's what Jalen Brunson had to say after the game with respect to flushing this one away to get ready to travel to Miami before ultimately coming home to take on Brooklyn. Here's what Jalen Brunson had to say.
Yeah, Jalen, I know it's a long season, but how do you bounce back from this going into Tuesday's game against Miami?
As soon as we leave the buildings, you don't have to think about it anymore. Don't even think about it. You got to keep moving forward and just prepare for Miami.
So Jalen Brunson saying, look, we got to throw this one away and move forward. And in essence, that's exactly what they have to do, because now you got to turn your attention to a Miami Heat team with Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, and those boys down there in Miami who are still fighting for their own playoff lives with respect to the Eastern Conference before ultimately you come home on Thursday to take on a Brooklyn Nets team that's smarting off of its loss against the Milwaukee Bucks. There's still a lot of games left for this team, and the Mavericks need to find themselves winning consistently. Now, they caught a break on Sunday because they lost to the Kings, yet and still the Toronto Raptors went to Los Angeles and handled their business against the Lakers, despite the fact that the Portland Trail Blazers did go on the road to the Boston Celtics to get a 129-119 win to move to 4-0 on their current road trip, which has 2 games left. So as we sit here today, yes, the Mavericks, and another inexcusable loss to the Sacramento Kings. Yes, Rick Carlisle got tossed. Yes, Luka Doncic got tossed and picked up his 14th and 15th technical fouls, where he is now 1 technical foul away from earning a suspension. Now, as you heard Luka say earlier, look, he's not worried about getting his 16th technical foul. He also said he wasn't worried about getting his 13th, 14th, and 15th technical fouls. And yet, here we are, and he's gotten them. Now, again, I wouldn't be surprised if New York reviewed the technical fouls and rescinded not one, but both of them. But at the same time, it doesn't change the outcome of this game and the way that they came out with poor energy throughout this game. Yes, Dwight Powell provided some nice energy in the first quarter, but he was the only one providing the sustained energy needed, especially for the Dallas Mavericks. So now, spinning this forward, the Mavericks must put themselves in position now where they are handling their business, because there is no margin for error with these final remaining games and these couple of weeks left in the regular season. This is the position that they have put themselves in. I know 9-14 to start. They won 27 out of 40 to get themselves a season-high 9 games above 500 before dropping this game to the Sacramento Kings. But this is the bed that they've made themselves that they have to lie in, and the pressure is up every single game to win games, because now you can find yourself, yes, you're still 5th place in the Western Conference, but losses against the Miami Heat and the Brooklyn Nets can find yourself tumbling back down into the play-in tournament. And that obviously is not where you want to be, especially when you start thinking about who's in front of you in terms of the Lakers and the Portland Trail Blazers. Meanwhile, the Denver Nuggets continue to climb as far as the Western Conference is concerned. So a poor loss at home against the Sacramento Kings, but nonetheless, you're not going to win a lot of basketball games where you're shooting 17% from the three-point line, committing 16 turnovers. Luka Doncic himself, a poor stretch, especially in the second quarter with turnovers, undisciplined play, picking up technical fouls, just a overall sloppy performance. And now this team falls to 13-25 when trailing after the first quarter. So this team, it seems like at times, are a bunch of front runners, because they're 22-0 when leading after the first quarter this season. But as I just mentioned, 13-25 when trailing after the first quarter. Seems like a bunch of front runners to me. This is a team that also had its 4-game home winning streak snap, its overall 3-game winning streak snap at the hands of the Sacramento Kings. Good thing the Dallas Mavericks don't have to see the Sacramento Kings for the rest of the season, because otherwise they go 0-72 if they had to play the Sacramento Kings every single night. And I know you and I didn't have DeLon Wright cooking the Dallas Mavericks in the fourth quarter on our 2021 Mavericks bingo card, but he was talking smack. The second of a back-to-back layups that DeLon Wright made in the fourth quarter, that ultimately got Rick Carlisle tossed. Just an ugly night inside the American Airlines Center. But more importantly, you flushed this one away, and now you got to get ready to take on a talented Miami Heat team, who, of course, are the defending Eastern Conference champions, fighting for their own playoff lives before you return home when you take on the Brooklyn Nets and whomever is going to show up to play, whether it be Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving. James Harden is still dealing with a hamstring injury, so who knows who's going to show up for the Brooklyn Nets. But otherwise, you can't look ahead, because the way that this schedule is playing out right now, yeah, you own the tiebreaker right now because you're winning your division. You're currently 5th in the Western Conference, but that doesn't mean a whole lot, especially the way that the Mavericks played against the Sacramento Kings. Good thing they don't have to play the Kings anymore the rest of the season. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Kevin Gray Sports. Be sure to hit that subscribe button for all things Kevin Gray Sports here on YouTube. The Dallas Mavericks fall 111-99, now 36-28 on the season, to the Sacramento Kings as they get ready to head on the road to take on the Miami Heat before returning home on Thursday to take on the Brooklyn Nets and maybe Kevin Durant. We'll see. Be sure to hit that subscribe button for all things Kevin Gray Sports here on YouTube. And you can catch me on your home of the Dallas Cowboys and Texas Rangers, 105.3 The Fan. This has been another episode of The Gray Area. We'll talk to you later. Peace.